Hello, Craigster here again. I'd say back by popular demand, but I'm not sure that's the case. However, to my surprise, Avatar sets, the rest of the first wave of the first film has dropped today. So we're not going to mess around, we're just going to dive straight in and I'm going to give you my thoughts on them. So, yeah, and once again, I'm dressed like an idiot. So let's do it first. We'll start with the one that has zero interest to me at all because I'm not a Brickheads fan. I know some people are, and I'm just going to have a look at them and see what we think. So, this one is called Jake Sully and his Avatar. It's got 246 pieces, and it's in the UK priced at $17.99. And all these sets are the same. They're all coming out the 1st of October this year, before the new Avatar movie, The Way of the Water, which will then have, I believe, some sets from that, which will be due probably next year. So, Brickheads. Yes, as I said, I'm not really a fan. I don't collect them. I think I've got Batman, and that's about it. But these, not too bad for a Brickhead. I mean, there's the couple of nice pieces, nice colorings on these. It certainly looks like his Navi Avatar. Nice printed pieces. And I'm not sure we've had a Brickhead in a wheelchair before, but that's pretty cool. Like, the feet are quite clever. I mean, it looks like it's supposed to look, I suppose. So I think if you like Brickheads, you probably will. Oh, look, you bring him off it as well. I like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Probably just because it's Avatar, I'll probably get it just to add to the fact that I probably get them all, but then hope they don't do any more of them, because otherwise it'll be mad if I have to do all of these. But yeah, I like them. There you go. Let's put it next to a boomerang. Interesting, people. Yeah, so that's the Brickheads one. Okay. So next up, let's look at them in price. So we'll go to Neytiri and the Thanator and the AMP suit Quaritch, which is a really catchy title that comes straight off the tongue. Okay, let's start. Let's have a look at this properly. So for a fair, I think this suit is pretty good because they aren't that big in the film, and it fits the character quite nicely. There's obviously some gap in here that you probably would rather not have, seeing as it's a pressurized cabin. The weapons look about right. Sand green's decent enough color, I suppose, to stand out. Yeah, this is a bit basic, isn't it? It's a bit of a basic build. The headpiece is nice, but I can see me redesigning this straight off the bat. That's too bricky. Yeah, that needed to be a little bit more black with more skeleton work, really, than blocky bricks. So yeah, I'll be getting it, but I'll just use the head and probably read it. I'm sure lots of other people will do exactly the same. It doesn't look so bad on that picture when it's posed, but it's when it's close up and you really see the blocky parts. But the artwork again is really nice. 560 pieces. What was this one? Let's go back. So it was $39.99 and 560 pieces. So not bad, considering it's got too many figures. Has this one got? Yeah, too many figures, and then obviously the bigger ones. So it's not a terrible deal considering it's a Disney license, and the price hike. £40 for 560 pieces, 2 decent minifigures. There's plenty of stuff in here as well. Let's go back to full screen. Let's have a look at the figures. You see, look, they are really, really tall. It's printing on this is really, really good as well. Some nice. I hope they actually look like this when they come, because it's obviously going to be a colour that I've not seen them print on often. But the face printing looks good. Obviously, this guy looks cool. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. And if it says in the description, actually, Steve somebody played him in the film. Colonel, what did he do? Miles Quaritch. Oh, that's where the Quaritch comes from. Yeah. Call yourself a fan, Craig. Yeah. I was just thinking it was a Colonel. But yeah, Colonel Miles Quaritch minifigure in his buildable suit. That's a scene from near the end of the movie that's quite cool. But yeah, the figure, that's a good figure. I think people will like that figure for other builds as well, given the facial expressions and the military suit type thing. Sort of reenacting the scene. We've got some trees and stuff behind it. We've got those in green, which I don't think we've had before. They were in translucent orange for the volcano sets. Nice pieces again, that nice little white crown. I think they're glow in the dark. It does mention on some of these sets which are glow in the dark, which aren't. Small ugly rock piece. Interesting use of the Technic beams there. Maybe needs to be a little bit more organic. It's almost like a 4+ a little bit, apart from this build. That's probably the best thing in it, the build of the AMP suit. Plugged into the hair again. Yes, it's that extra leg, isn't it? The way they've done that. It almost needed to be a moulded. There needed to be moulded leg pieces, a bit like they did with the Rhino in Black Panther. It was a brick-built body that you plugged in the parts. There was also a Star Wars set from Force Awakens as well that had brick-built, I believe, and like dinosaur moulded feet type thing. It needed that for me. It's a bit of a letdown. Again, yeah, nice box art. It's nice that you get this little bit of scenery so you can add them all together. Yeah, it's not bad for the price when you think about what you get in terms of the set. But yeah, I do love these Navi figures there. They're so tall. So yeah, so that's that one. Let's go and have a look at the next one. So the next one in the price range goes up £10, and it's the Banshees. So we like the Banshees. What have they done with the Banshees? So this one's Jake and Neytiri's first Banshee flight, $49.99, 572 pieces. So when you compare it to the last one, it's only about 10 or 11 pieces more, and it's an extra £10 here, so not as good value. Again, we've got a little bit of scenery. We've got the two Banshees, another scene from the film. Not sure about this underside of this. Really not sure about it. Too many figures. Probably going to get quite a few of these two characters in it as well, without the box art. So look. Yeah, so you've got Jake and Neytiri looking pretty good. This looks nice. That looks like a nice piece. Not sure I've seen that type of piece before. Could be quite useful in that translucent, with obviously with pin connectors. We see the return of the white carrot, the turnip swede that was in the castle. What's in the new castle set that's coming out? They've used them there quite well as a different type of plant. Yeah, so we've got any more of the actual Banshees themselves. Yeah, I'm not sure about this bottom part here, what they've done here. And a lot of black pins showing on the wings. Are they black pins? Are they the turbar things? Yeah, interesting that, isn't it? It's not, again, the heads are fine, but I don't think the bodies are quite right. Decent enough size. Box art looks quite good. Not really got some great shots of it. Yeah, it's a bit too brick built. It's not as good as I was hoping they were going to be. I mean, it's not going to stop me getting them because it's Avatar. But like I said, I'll have to redesign these because you can use the wing. I'm sure you can attach the wings better than having all them black pins sticking up using those wing stuff they've created and plastic wing stuff. But the minifigures of the drawer, it's not really that pretty looking there either, is it? Yeah, I'm not impressed as I thought I was going to be. I thought they'd do these better. I think when you see my puppeteered Banshee, you'll see the difference. So yeah, possibilities for mocking. Not a bad set to pick up a few of them as well for the pieces. It's not that expensive. Could be worse. So that's the Jake and Neytiri's first Banshee fight. So what's next? Is it just this one that's last? Yes, we've already done Turk Mach 2 and the Tree of Souls. It's just the floating mountains things, which interestingly doesn't have any floating mountains apart from that tiny little rock piece, which is a bit disappointing. However, you do get some very cool minifigures because you get Grace. So we've got Jake Sully in his Navi and human form, and 3 other figures. Yes, but one's Grace, Dr. Grace Augustine. Does it say who the others are supposed to be? Or am I going to have to work it out? They're on the box art. Let's see if we can see it on the box. Zoom in. So $89.99 and 887 pieces. So that's the steeper end now, isn't it? On the price. And interestingly enough, 1, 2, 3, 5 minifigures and the Dire Horse. So you can instantly see now with Lego, when you're working pieces out and prices, what drives the set price up. And it's the minifigures and any big molds. I know it's always been the case, but it's even more so, especially with the license sets. There definitely seem to be the minifigures driving the price of these sets recently. I've noticed it with Star Wars. I'm noticing it here. So will it let us zoom in to see how? So you've got, I know it's Jake in his wheelchair, and it looks like they've got dual faces where you can swap them around where they've got the masks, which is how they need to breathe outside this unit, because the atmosphere is not breathable for humans. But obviously it's breathable for the Navi, so they don't need it when they're in their avatar forms. So obviously he can go into this machine in here, and that will transfer his consciousness into the body of the grown avatar, which is a blend of the Navi DNA and human DNA for that to work. So they're grown, and then they're transferred into them, and then they can interact with the native species and not interact like this. So it's kind of a bit of they're trying to con them a little bit, aren't they? So Dr. Grace Augustine, I was right. Trudy, and I can't remember how you say her last name, but it looks like Chasson. But Trudy is the pilot of this in the film. So it's quite nice to get her. And then what's even cooler is that you get Norm. So Norm is another scientist. Jake is a Marine. He takes the place of his brother, who is a twin brother who's been killed. And obviously developing the bond between the genetics is expensive. So they obviously asked Jake to come in. The military like that because they've now had a Marine on the inside of this scientific project. But Norm joins at the same time as Jake, and he's a scientist, but he's cool, and his avatar Navi form is quite interesting. So we'll have a look at that in more detail. So got a little build. Obviously, we've got the Scorpion, which is pretty good. I love this piece being used here. That is a really good idea to use. Trying to create that in brick form would be really parts intensive. Now, it's not completely the right scale, but as a set and at this price point, it's pretty good. So yes, this looks great. I love the fact that they've used this piece here. Again, it's not to scale. It's got the shooters on it. I think that you would have struggled to do these curved pieces at the right scale without it looking blocky. So I think that's a good idea. But in universe, this thing is probably bigger. You would get more people in here. You'd get a couple of the Navi being able to stand on the sides with guns. It's a pretty good representation, but it does need upscaling. So again, I'd have to remock this. But whether I could use those pieces and build off them maybe to make them use the same blades to keep it in scale, I don't know. I'll give it a go. But I'm not sure. Is that like a Speed Champions canopy? It's interesting that the way they've chosen this, but as a play set for a kid to play with, it's pretty good. these mobile units that they basically drop these into the mountains so that they can work without being disturbed by the corporate company. It would have been nice with the description to have got more of the actual floating mountains rather than just the porta cabin type unit. And this thing is much bigger as well. You'd probably need at least a couple of these, if not 3, to put it into right scale. Train door used on there, which is quite good. I like that. The fact that it's got the clips on, because this is supposed to be able to move it around. I don't know if it'll show us doing that. Looks like it might. Yep, it looks quite a little, again, adding a little extra bit of the background with that piece in a transclear this time seems to be a smart move. There's some nice recolor in there of dark blue on those like minifig posing pieces. Figures, yeah, I love the dire horses. It's another opportunity to get another one of these, because you need quite a few really for the, if you're doing a MOC, you'd probably need about 10 or 11 at least. Figure, like I said, the figure's Norm. That looks like Norm. That's really good done. Obviously that's Jake, Grace, Jake in his normal form, and then Trudy all look really cool. Let's have a look. It shows you inside. So you've got the little chamber he has to go into with probably a sticker there showing him transferred. So his body, his human body stays there, but his conscience goes through. Easy access, we like that. There's a few little details inside. Room for his wheelchair. See, there'd be about 4 or 5 of these units, of these chambers inside one of these porta cabin things. And yep, we've got the ability to pose the helicopter on top of the floaty mountain thing there. And it doesn't look like it's got any kind of winch to carry this around, which is a little bit disappointing. But then it's quite on the small side. But normally they would be able to pick them up and move them around, which is what they do in the film. Doesn't look like they've gone that far. Some nice box art. Some kids playing with it. It's decent size, isn't there? In a little kid's hand. It's a good play set. It's just a bit on the pricey side, this one. I really do think it's a lot of money for what you get. £90. You'd be looking at picking that up on a deal. Hopefully somebody like Xavier's got the Banshee one. Hopefully they've got a few more of these and you can get them with a discount, because I think that's a little bit steep for that one. Because you're really paying for the figures, aren't you? Figures are great. The scene's good. Again, maybe could have done with a little bit more foliage landscape, a bit more of the actual floaty mountain. Let's go back to the first one. Yeah, so this sort of stuff would have been better. And I'm not sure really why they chucked the dire horse into that scene, because it's not really a place where you would see a dire horse up here. You're more likely to see a Banshee than you are a dire horse. I'm not sure whether they've just chucked that in for on purpose. I know that Norm rides one later on, so it's like using that, but it's not in this part of the. It's not part of the scene. It's when they're going into battle. So yeah, loving the figures there. It's all about the figures, especially getting Grace in this set and Trudy, because they're going to be obviously exclusive. But yeah, that's it. That's the sets. I think I've done them. All. We've already spoken about that one. We looked at the others in order. Yes, I'm quite happy with that. Will I be getting all of them? Yes, I will. No passing here, but because it's Avatar and I want to do my Pandora MOC. But other than the tree and the Turok Matu, the others need some work. But it was always going to be about the figures. Getting the wings and the heads for the Banshees and the Thanator is a good thing, because you can build off them. And the AMP suit's quite nice. Like I say, you just might want to address some of the gaps if you're if you're adapting it. But other than that, yeah, some nice sets. Not too bad on pricing. Yeah, quite like them. So yeah, another review of the sets before I've actually got them. It'll be good to come back and show you my changes to them when I do get them in October. So they'll be on the channel when that's done, along with some of the other MOC stuff that I'm working on. I've got castle stuff to show off. I've got the changes to the bugle and some more work to do on the city, and a little second video to finish on the Batcave project. With Lugbulk round the corner, that's going to help me finish the Batcave. So, yes, good stuff coming up. So, if you want to catch any of that, please, if you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and leave a comment below whether you agree, disagree. I know some people are going to go straight away onto the price of some of these sets, but yeah, please leave a comment and I'll catch you next time. See ya.